That's going to be in my head now.
Recording.
Okay. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners. The date is April 4th, 2024. Time is 7 o'clock. Could we please rise for this Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May we have a roll call?
Commissioner Bendy?
Here.
Commissioner Bowe?
Here.
Commissioner Grau? Commissioner Halting?
Here.
Commissioner Leduc?
Here.
Commissioner Matza?
Here.
Commissioner Tunnel?
Here. Would anyone like to amend, add, or delete an item to the current agenda? All right. Would anyone from the public like to comment on non-agenda items? I move to approve the regular board meeting minutes of March 21, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. I'd like to turn it over to Executive Director Mountcastle.
Thank you. I just had few brief general items. We're working, staff has gotten through, as I mentioned before, all the performance reviews, and now we're working on our performance incentive award meetings. So I've been in meeting this week, some great nominations for that, and a lot of part-time this year as well, so that's good to see. May 16th, I was talking to President Tunnel, that'll be the date, for the board elections, so the board changeover elections. We usually do it that date, and it depends, with if there's anybody up for election, right? Then sometimes we'll push it back because, the timing of that. But if the board's good with that, we'll put that on the agenda, and you can talk amongst yourselves and figure that out. And that's all I have under general updates. I have a couple other things that are listed on the agenda. Any questions about general? Brief this time. The next one is about, let's see, what are we doing next? Oh, promotional material. So you see that in the packet. Margaret, Margaret wrote the memo up. This is one of those things that we come to the board. I think all of you have been here since it doesn't happen often, but that we come to you if there are ones that just don't fit in any of the categories except for number 7, and just because they're kind of, they're not in any of the other categories. So the flyer is attached, and you can read Margaret's memo. Usually we come to the board and we're like, approve it, right? The event looks absolutely recreational. When she looked into this organization, and somebody, people may have more insight, but it does in their description and the documentation they provided, they talked about the corporation is organized for educational, civic, and political purposes. And, it's not like this event looks like it's going to be for political purposes. So as long as we specify to this group that, there can't be any campaigning for or against a particular candidate or measure, I would think that we're fine with this. But in the policy, it does talk about bringing, the organization can be approved from here on out. But I would say since the political term is in the organization's, description and purpose, that when there's anything else, we would just bring it back. So that would be my recommendation to the board on this. Any questions or comments?
I'm a part of the group, and I suggest that we just not post it.
Okay.
I don't, there's nothing wrong with the event.
Right.
But it's a slippery slope,
Mm-hmm.
and I just.
Okay. Because of the description. That's where we were. We just really couldn't come and say, because it could be like some people could come there as a vendor or as, doing something, and we won't have control of that. Is that?
Well, I just.
I think it's best.
If we say yes to them, but then there's a group with something that's, say, maybe more contrary, it sort of puts us in a position of setting a precedent that might end badly.
Right.
group endorsed a slate in the last
Oh, they did?
school board
Okay.
election and
Okay.
played a significant role. So
They are known for that.
they are
Okay.
locally active politically. So
We've never heard of this group before, which is odd.
they're,
A little newer.
Okay.
they're newer for various.
Sounds great, but.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, in order to not establish a precedent that could come back
Yeah.
negatively.
Okay. And this is why we have these conversations, because the board sometimes knows, more about that than we do. So I think that we'd have to have a motion, though, because it is stated in our policy that, so a motion to not approve be changed to.
I move that we not post this material due to the political nature of the group that's asking us to post it.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Is it
It's a roll call.
is it a roll call?
Commissioner Bowe,
Aye.
Commissioner Grau,
Aye.
Commissioner Halting,
Aye.
Commissioner Leduc,
Aye.
Commissioner Matza,
Yes.
Commissioner Bendy,
Yes.
Commissioner Tunnel.
Aye.
Thank you. Now on to something more fun. We turn your attention to our TVs. This one seems to not be cooperating. Terry's going to be the right. And so the rest of us are going to chime in and just, kind of walk you through. Some of this, is not new, but want to point out the first thing is, and the landscaping, this is all depictions, right? Before anybody starts about what the landscaping is that they're showing. These are just depictions, and the people are not real. And if you're looking toward the building, right toward the entrance, there's two things. The leaf, you'll see that is not going to be there. That is just a depiction of a logo. But it will be our logo, but Margaret's designing it to the building. To the left of that, those are, and again, it's hard to really tell from this, but you'll see in some of the other pictures the difference of, of course, we all know that's the turf building. And so those are the translucent panels that we were able to add. So they'll really make a difference when you see it in different, at the end, there's different like times of day that'll show, so.
What's this thing on this bump out on the right? Is that
That's,
This is the existing
yes.
a, okay.
which will be the part of the locker rooms for the teams.
Okay.
You'll see that, but, and they're gonna do something to make those look better than.
Yes, yeah, it'll be
different color.
completely gutted,
Well, I'm saying
relaid
the
out and
front,
everything.
the front area.
In the front, everything. It'll be, the brickwork will be filled in, painted, so that it all looks and ties in well with the rest of the building, so.
We'll just keep going unless people have questions. So this is, has not changed since the board's seen it. What Terry was referring to that we've seen before, but up in the front, the locker, those are all the team rooms. And that happened when we were looking at cost-saving measures, and we kept the structural integrity of that front of that building was in good shape, so we kept that, and it's going to be gutted. So they will not be the old bathrooms, it will be completely gutted. And the rest of it, I believe, is what you've seen. The blue on the turf perimeter is the walking path. And that'll just be a different color turf. It'll be the same material. And I believe there have not been any changes
I don't-
since the last
yeah,
time the
I
board's
think
seen this.
Lays out pretty much the same as.
Pretty much the same. There was some internal moving of like the Zamboni walls and things like that. But
Minor.
other than that, it's the same, so.
That's a real exciting.
This is really
Reflective
exciting,
ceiling
the ceiling plan. Yeah. Well, this is exciting. This is the front door. Looks much nicer than, brand new, of course. Sliding doors and that very durable. We've seen samples of, all of these products, and that's a very durable version of.
So it's walk off, like mat flooring. It's a carpet. It's kind of laid in with,
Divots, right? Of
yeah, it's got like aluminum tracking that is kind of laid in with. On the far side there, where you see what looks like wood, is actually a fiber cement board product that has a wood-like finish to it. So we've got kind of all the samples are in the back of this. Obviously, seeing them in person is a lot
Different.
a lot different and nicer. Occasionally, as you go through here, you'll see a couple of tinges of colors that are like,
Yeah.
But when we had our
As is.
in-person meetings, the actual color samples, everything worked out really well. So we were very happy with it, and everything's been updated to the colors. So
And are those bike racks in the front?
those are bike. That is bike parking. Yes.
Florence is a bike route. Straight up. Not that anybody's gonna be like hauling their hockey equipment on.
So-
Well, but maybe if there's a little extra left, maybe we could put in one of those bike stations like the nice one by Centennial.
So the QR code in the corner is what we've referred to. So this will be once the board's seen it, and I think we're probably ready to put this on the website after this. But so people will be able to just click on that and come to the area of the building. So this is as you walk in, and then to the left is the turf and the main check-in area. Again, those leaves, that leave logo will be different. That will be the Perk District logo. Also, you can see the wood. Well, they'll show that better on the next slide, I believe. But to the right, the ice rink, you move straight forward to the glass wall, the fireplace, and the outdoor patio. The furniture, we're working with White to try to get furniture, to get them to help us with the design. They're working with us on, we've got owner purchase items. So this is not as is right now, but the look is what we're going for.
Yeah, so they used some pieces like as inspiration for this, and some of the ones that we worked with are generally specific and we have in our owner purchase items, and other ones they have a little bit different than what we have in our owner purchase items. And so we're working with them to get an understanding and have them work with us on what the specific items are that they used for their inspiration in these designs, and so that it could be a little more cohesive. So
What's the flooring here? I'm sorry.
the flooring here is rubber.
All rubber, yeah,
that it's-
mostly throughout this facility. And you see where I think they had a secondary rubber and then a third, right?
Yeah, well, actually,
Different.
the front here it's actually more walk-off carpet,
Mm-hmm.
and then you kind of see the divider line is rubber again.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then what Gail was referring to with that QR code, if you were to scan that on your phone, it actually would allow you to be in the space in 3D on
You
your
can move
phone.
it, yeah.
And you could move it and look around and up and down and everything. There's actually a spot, if you click on it now, you can actually put on VR glasses if you want to.
Everybody's trying to.
So,
Does it work on this side?
you can't do it on the TV, but
Can you?
oh,
Yeah.
wow. I tried them in my office and they worked. Yeah, and you can just scroll to the side to side. The only thing you can't do is scroll up and
Oh, yeah,
down.
Jennifer got it.
Yeah.
Right. Did you get it? Mm-hmm.
So,
Exactly.
Spinning around this chair and
It's pretty cool. So those will be.
so that'll be available to the public as well.
To wait. No, it's all right. So I don't think there's anything else in here to speak of, but you can see the glass, how nice it'll be for people to be able to sit with the counter and look into the rink and have a space to work or whatever. And now where this logo, that's not going to be our logo, is up on the left. That's where we're intending to put the recycled wood. So it'll be etched wood, from the trees. And then is the front counter that same way, or is that not the
I
recycled?
think
I can't remember.
I think the idea is
Yeah, I
this would
think
be
it-
the
If we can
plain
get
wood.
enough wood from the trees is the goal, so.
Yep.
So it'll be right there, how the skate shop is now inside the rink. Everything's consolidated at this front counter. See the staff member to the right in the tan, that'll be the ice skate shop, and then the skates are all gonna be right behind there. And then to the left are the entrances to the doors of the offices. And then to the right, and you'll get a better look at it, the concession stand will be to the right. So this is the area where the concessions will be. And again, we're going to try to get furniture like this. And then the fireplace will be an indoor-outdoor fireplace. Really? So I didn't even notice that, yeah. It's just a look, from the other direction. We tried to stick with the colors of our logos in the Park District. So this is looking down the hall towards the studio rink and then the entrance to the main rink. Here. There's the turf.
Grabbing the
Again.
QR code.
Huh?
I saw Commissioner Bowe
Oh,
reaching for his
yeah.
phone to grab his QR code,
Right.
so. wanted to-
There have been, April, how many hours of discussion on the lines on the turf?
Many.
For the different groups and, and yeah, tours of other facilities, so it won't be exactly like that. It's much more intricate. There's gonna be bleachers.
There's a couple bleachers along
couple,
the
yeah, a couple
one side,
bleachers along
which won't
there.
be depicted on here because
Right.
those are owner purchased items, but
And there'll be room for chairs too, I believe, on the side. You know, if you're outside of that blue line, there'll be more room for people. You can bring your own chair, you know, whatever. And the turf again. And this is, of course, without banners and everything. Now, there's another exciting area, turf field storage. This is right off the back of the turf toward the train tracks. And this is, you know, looks
This
very
is-
plain right now.
yeah, this is the
Office.
hallway right when you walk through
The door,
the
public
doorway,
door.
yeah, the public door behind the front desk into the office area. So the area just to the left here is like a copy room. These won't be open shelving; they'll be closed, but you'll see that they'll have it's a copy machine and workspace for the staff. There's a representation of an office.
Rent to the right, yeah, right. There's a nice little area so that, you know, for meetings and things like that. Little kitchenette, and see there's work areas for the part-time staff to the left. So that'll be nice. A lot of the staff will be behind the scenes there in their offices for when they need to be. And there's the skate racks. But again, like I said, really nice that this is all controlled from the front desk instead of being controlled inside of the rink.
So this is the other door. There's two doors behind the front desk. One gets you into the office space. The other one gets you into here.
Right.
And up against the back wall is where the skate sharpening will happen.
It's exciting. Well, they had some figurines that we didn't really like of you know, different men, women, children, and we're like, come up with something else. So they're going to come up hopefully with some other version, but this is going back toward the bathrooms.
Yeah, and so this space, this hallway is if you're looking back at that front desk, just to the right of the front desk, in between the front desk and the concession stand, this would be a hallway that gets you down to some restrooms. To the
The
restrooms.
right. So they're kind of back off of.
You'll
So
see.
you can see the lobby there, you know, and then it's coming back off of the lobby. It's recessed. That's what I was trying to say. Where's the single-person bathrooms.
So there's one that's,
One's a unisex.
one's unisex and then there are female and male.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's some other unisex ones down the hall as well. Yeah. Well, speaking of going down the hall,
Changing tables, hopefully.
huh?
All with changing tables.
Yes.
And so,
Yeah.
but that's all owner at
Nice
purchase.
day.
Yes.
Yes, it says have a nice day. And
Unless-
that's also all the wood, the repurposed wood from the trees that'll be used down this hall.
That like looks like my 10-year-old.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Right. There's a multi-purpose room.
So this is from the wall behind you would be the train tracks. You're looking back towards the entrance door, which is that hallway that we just came out of.
And then the wooded, you know, look area, that will be going out to the patio. So there'll be a door that goes out to the patio.
Wait, is this an event room?
Yes.
Yeah, this is one of the multi-purpose.
We've got two.
Yep. And so like the divider wall would be just to your left.
Behind the lady in the green dress, right?
Mhm.
So here's the second room.
Yeah, here's the second room with the divider wall in and up depicted there. So that other room is just to the right now on the other side of that wall.
And are we looking for a window? Are we on the window side?
No,
there is a
To
high
the-
level
Right. to the
window
outside, right?
the outside, but they're high up,
Mhm.
not ground level.
That's the side we're on.
Yes, correct.
Mhm.
So the back,
Right.
to your back is the train tracks
So
again.
where the door is, it's like the main hallway, right? So that was where they were coming in
And that's the
without the
2
divider.
spaces with the open.
How many people can that hold with the two?
It's the size of about the Olympic room, I believe.
I felt like
Bigger than Olympic room? 2 Olympic rooms? Yeah, 2 Olympic rooms, I think.
Is it like O'Connor or no? Bigger or smaller?
it
Bigger,
was a little bit bigger than O'Connor.
bigger than O'Connor.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's a kind of an awkward. It's a weird.
It's a weird shape.
It's a weird shape.
Based on the
It's not
property.
squared off, but it's a little bit weird shape because of the angle of the walls there. But
Mm-hmm.
So does the wall go into those double doors?
It is.
the wall goes to the green door, I believe. Yes, and the double doors here are storage, I believe.
Yeah.
Because that's the beam, I think,
Right.
that supports it.
So the,
So there's a little one and a bigger one.
I thought they were both the same size. But I don't
They are, but one's wider and one's longer and narrower.
shape. Okay.
They're different shapes, but same
Square footage.
square
Square
footage.
footage, yeah. This is the training room,
Which is
Uh,
the next room over.
right? So it'd be going towards the studio rink. There's another look at it. So we'll have windows looking out to the hallway and the studio rink.
So here we have rubber flooring, just like we have throughout the hallways and the other rooms. This area here is turf. It's just a blue colored turf. And then over on this side, we have an area with mirrors, and then these are windows that look out into the hallway. And on the other side, you'll see that there are windows that you could actually look all the way through into the studio rink. Just another perspective.
Why is it two different flooring?
I think just for the different types of training that they felt like they were going to have in there.
There's some purpose for their training that they had those marks on the ground, and I can't remember what it was. And that's the main rink.
Connor Bedard is actually right there.
So definitely a refreshed look for our rink.
So this perspective has you looking backwards towards this area up here is the mezzanine, where you would now currently enter, and we have the offices and lobby, everything else. The bleachers now are over on this side, which they're getting flipped over to the other side. So you're looking kind of turned in the opposite direction of what we look at now.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that same kind of looking back towards that mezzanine and what's currently the lobby. Again, those will be locker rooms back there, and that'll be the entrance points for the locker rooms.
Lots of views of that. New bleachers, new everything. This is the puck practice area, and that's back in the back corner by where the team rooms will be. So that would be back closest to where the Olympic room area would be right now. If you were to place it. That's the hallway for the studio rink. So you see on the left, that's where the training room windows are.
Training rooms. There are
Some perspective. There's another washroom.
individual restrooms over here.
2 of them, I think. Studio rink.
Did we decide on making it bigger? I can't remember. Was there, oh, we did, okay.
Future Olympians. This is back in the, these are the team rooms. So this is back, the back of the house area back here. So this is the current space that they're creating these in. There are four,
I think there's six.
six, maybe
Yeah,
six.
six
yeah.
plus
Officials. The-
officials room, even a
There'll be
coach's
like-
room. Then there's some
Huh?
mechanical rooms.
So it'll be a lot of rooms compared to what is upstairs right now.
Yep.
which is two.
This will be representative of what each room will be. They'll be numbered and then color coded as well.
This is also back in that team room area, so they have their own. There's showers back there. There's, toilets and sinks back there. And then the officials room has a shower in there, I believe. It's one shower.
Might, yeah.
I think so. Again, the colors, they're not that pink and, it's different. Yeah, it's not that bright orange. I mean, it might be the bright orange on the left, but not that pinkish. Yeah. So that's the upstairs where the Olympic room is now that we are strictly bound to have storage up here. That's it. I think there's a couple more. So yeah, see, like we said, you just go on the QR code and that'll be on the website. Yeah, there's some more pictures that we'll show you. And well, so to show you the interior finishes,
Yeah, I was gonna say these are
they have an
gonna
extra. Yeah, you can't.
kind of. You want to zoom in there? We could count them.
No, but the next one doesn't. Yeah, there you go.
It kind
So
of lays out the different color
Yeah,
schemes.
so it gives you more of a depiction of what they are.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll put this whole like slideshow thing and then all of the different QR codes. Just runs through all the. The White, again, I think I said this in one of my board reports, that I've been so impressed with their work and their professionalism with their interior decorating team. I mean, we're very picky on this stuff. We barely had changes, I don't think, when we went out there.
Yeah.
The wall changed from blue to white and, just not compared to what we usually go through. It's been very smooth. So here's the exterior. Again, don't look at the landscaping. It's not. Yeah. So this is, they'll show you like different times of the day. So you really see, how the translucent panels make a difference there. Really, their goal was to direct everybody, eyes toward that entrance, with the logo there and with the panels and. You like the oak leaf? Yeah, I know. It's nice, but it's. And this is Studio Rink.
Yeah, studio rink over here, existing rink, stormwater detention.
Will the Zamboni be going in that door there?
Yeah, the Zamboni room
In the back,
is right
right there.
right through
Mhm.
here. There'll be two Zambonis in there. That's right between the two. This space here?
No, I don't think
Oh
so.
no.
No, there's not.
Yeah, it makes it look.
It makes
they
it-
certainly didn't fill in all the.
It didn't create space. Let's put it
No.
that way.
Just put it as a narrow.
Get rid of the.
Yeah.
So one of the things we're trying to do is make the patio, we know it's against the train tracks, but we're trying to put landscaping back there and make it a little nicer with the colors and I don't think we have those yet because we've been going back and forth with the floor, like it's, what would you call that? It's like colored.
The colored concrete.
Colored
for the
concrete.
patio.
There'll be lights. I don't know if there's another picture of that, but like, hanging lights and.
Yeah. But you can see they've got the string lights over it now. Yeah, there's a gate over here somewhere.
And then there's that door for concessions, so you don't have to go in and out. And then the fireplace will,
They're not. They're
not.
They're not hydro.
They look like prehistoric.
Yeah.
we're trying to get a outdoor TV. I don't know how long it'll last out there, but make it more of a outdoor living space. Huh?
You can use that for service vehicles and stuff.
Yeah, so this
back.
pathway is actually, it's rated for a fire truck, so it'll
Mhm.
be
And deliveries.
Yeah,
They will go.
in deliveries.
Uh,
The overall loop,
I think it's half a mile. I think
think
it's
it
similar to
actually
what's
is.
out here.
yeah. Yep. There's some of the different pieces and palette that they're using for that, and that's kind of the end of it.
Yep. Any questions or any concerns, comments?
Looks great.
We just got that. Yes, she just submitted, and we have some questions, and Jennifer's looking it up. We're all looking over. We're gonna meet as a staff, and probably we could bring it, I don't know,
Yeah,
whenever we're gonna give them feedback and then come back, and then we'll give it to the board. Yeah.
And then I did talk to the landscape architect just about making sure that what we're seeing in this is not what we're looking at back there. The landscape package is not going out for some time yet, so, they're kind
Right,
of
we have
working
time.
towards some of that.
Mhm.
They did work towards and are getting pricing and have gotten good favorable pricing to get that area in front of the driving range cleared up, as long as we're talking about cleaning up and landscaping. So they're still working on some of the landscaping items.
Glance, but I didn't, the whole list of all the different species and plants.
Yeah, they had a lot of sedges, I think, and they had some.
A lot of natural areas.
Yeah, there was a lot of a big sedge area, and I thought I saw some coneflower and stuff. I just clicked on it, just took a quick look, and
Seating area too. The landscape.
yeah, this was all around the seating area, and then underneath all the Oak Grove area, what she had provided us the other day. So, yep. So to be in the future soon.
Yep. All right. Well, Margaret's out, and once we wanted to show it the board, then we'll put it up on the website if anybody didn't have any big
People will
concerns.
be really excited to see it on the website.
She'll probably do
Yeah.
we'll suggest like a post, like
Yeah.
on the website.
No, people,
Is the amount of seating similar to what is there currently?
For the bleachers.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, it is. Yep.
Even though it's the other side, there's an equal amount of room over there.
Yep.
That's all I have, unless anybody has any questions for me. You're welcome.
Thank you, President Tunnel. We have one item tonight, settlement offer for pending tax rate. So I move to approve the pending tax rate objection cases settlement offer for 2010 through 2014 tax years totaling $7,265.56, and to authorize the county to deduct this amount from the Park Ridge Park District next tax levy. Have a second?
Second?
Thank you very much. I'll invite Superintendent Larson to walk us through this.
Sure. So the memo that we included was pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to rely on Executive Director Mountcastle and Attorney Price to help with this, because this is a pretty complicated situation that I didn't even know existed until a couple months ago. But basically what happens is, organizations or groups or people will kind of submit challenges to the tax levy, or the challenging the budget levy or the amount of the levy. And so it kind of gets grouped together. And of course, there are big, like school districts and things like that, that sort of, they're negotiating back and forth. And our small little district kind of gets stuck behind them, because we can't move forward without it all getting settled. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, it's a mathematical issue.
You need to get up there.
Oh, sorry.
The,
You can stay up here with me.
It's math. So what happens is that people look at the mathematical formulations compared to what it was last year versus what the levy is, and if it goes over a certain ratio, it automatically triggers these objections. They automatically get filed. All it does is shift the burden of proof to the Park District to explain that it has a plan or something else. This is, you've heard me say before, Illinois law prohibits the Park District from saving money for projects and for a rainy day. This is that limitation, the overtaxation limitation. So you're essentially capped at a 6 months reserved in each fund. That's the most you can do, and if you exceed that limit, it's a little less for some specific funds. Objections are born, and that's the same for every unit of government. And the objection is born, and all it does is it's just math. Well, given the amount of zeros involved for the park district, the plaintiff's lawyers aren't really focused on that. They find some objector, and they really focus on bigger taxing bodies like school districts, as was said. As you see on this, like 2009, these are not anybody's priority. They just trickle along, and the law firms that bring these cases, you know, they get a little bit of money from whatever year after year after year. They're a check and balance in the system. And so what happens is we get to a point where we can win, but it's a Pyrrhic victory. The cost of proving your plan or overcoming the burden of proof now shifted to you is far more expensive than what they'll take in a settlement. That's where we are on a bunch of these. So while technically the state's attorney represents all the units of government, and so that's how we get caught in the wagon train here. State's attorney's listening to people with a lot more money at stake than the park district. We are involved. Carrie Lynn from our office does it. She's involved. She's talking to the state's attorney. The state's attorney is the wagon train master on all these things. So it's when they get their attention or a judge decides enough's enough on their docket and he or she pushes the issue that we get to a settlement position where finally something is done. So we're at that point now where this is the cheapest out.
Settling versus litigating.
Don't go. Are these multiple people? Do we know who they are?
The law firms go and find people in the different taxing districts that say, hey, you want to be a named plaintiff because you can get some money. And the named plaintiffs get more of the money.
So some of them or one of them is from Park Ridge?
Yes, somebody has to have standing. Right?
Okay, so we can find legally who this is, probably.
It's yes, but yeah.
Wouldn't it be, oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Forgot my other
Yeah, I
question.
mean, if you're a named plaintiff, you have to be named.
I forgot my other question, darn it. Well, it's crazy. Oh, did we go over? Did we go over? Or you're saying we didn't, but it costs more to prove that we didn't then?
We may have. There are times when what our fund was the year before and how it, because remember, it's not a perfect science. We send the levy to the county, and then what we get back is sometimes a head scratcher. Sometimes they reapportion things in funds that we didn't intend them to reapportion, but they just did it because it's out of our control. We ask, and then they extend. And when they extend, they sometimes trigger the ratio without anything we've looked to do.
So we say this goes in this fund, this goes in this fund, and this goes, but it doesn't always go that way.
Right, because when they impose the tax cap limitation, then we tell them we'd like a proportional reduction.
Right.
Well, sometimes that proportional reduction doesn't reduce certain funds far enough, so now we triggered over whereas our ask was properly proportioned. When the math works out at the end, when they impose the tax cap and they reveal the results to us, it's, oh, great. So, but in all these cases, we have a plan for every amount of dollars we levied, like A and B projects or certain reserves. But, you know, part of another one that's an example is your pension fund, right? There were years where IMRF had awesome returns on investment. So the next thing you know, you're overfunded and now you're over levied, and so we're back to.
Yep, interesting.
It's why we encourage and we're working through it, getting rid of all the specialty funds, keeping it in corporate. That one's really hard to violate.
Which specialty fund?
Oh, and lighting, for example. We've been reducing these things down.
That's under liability. Security.
Yeah. So.
Does the plaintiff, will one plaintiff go, so say someone from Park Ridge, would they do the school district, the park district, the library, will they do all of them all at once, or do they?
Well, for a tax year, it's for a tax year. And then they'll object to the taxes for the school district for whatever funds they screwed up. or we're screwed up for them. Then they'll object to the library district for whatever fund or what is in there. These are all a series of objections brought against the county. That's why the state's attorney responds as the defense counsel in the first place. But then they turn around and look to all the units of government who put in the request to the county to collect these taxes to say, do you want to, A, be involved in kibitz on this? And remember, it's your money in the future. Why don't you come in here and tell us? So, yeah, it's a cottage industry.
Where does this money go then?
This money goes back to the taxpayers. It comes out of your next levy. So your next levy gets reduced, but there's also money to be paid up front to the people who are the watchdogs.
So more money goes to the people who initiated the case, and then
A little bit of money,
the
yes.
rest of us get a little
Uh-huh.
dollar.
Yeah, you get a coupon's worth of money to go to Dunkin' Donuts and get a free coffee.
A mini donut.
Is this a thing everywhere? Like in
Uh-huh.
all states?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, it's an Illinois thing.
It's an Illinois thing?
Yeah. Of course. It's all part of Illinois' local government regulation.
So
It's the same people who brought you the tax cap have brought you this.
why do we have so many weird things? Anyway, okay.
The new one.
Confusing.
Any other questions for staff?
What if we vote no?
Then my business model improves. Because we'll go
I'll litigate, right, that's the other option.
Yeah.
Anybody tried to get rid of this?
No, not at all.
Derek, has anybody tried to like get rid of this thing? Disability?
Object to taxes?
Like has a legislator or someone in the,
That would be a quite unpopular position.
Yeah, I don't think so.
If I may play devil's advocate.
sure.
The greedy hand of government to be more greedy.
Mhm.
That's how it would be positioned. This is a limitation on what you can ask. And now to take the limits off is not going to be a popular position. And again, it doesn't prevent you from doing it. It just shifts the burden of proof to you to prove why you did it. So for example, another park district had a plan to build something. The supply chain world changed, some politics changed, and so instead of building their rec center, they didn't, but they had reserved funds for it in the next levy year. They were way over because they had reserved all these funds to go build, and because they didn't start building, they still had this money in the account, and so it triggered. That one they fought because there were a couple $1 million at stake, and we had a plan, and all we had to show was we couldn't spend it in the right amount of time. We weren't saving for a rainy day. There was a plan. And so the court ruled in their favor, but that cost multiples of tens of thousands of dollars to prove we had a plan.
Anyone else?
Just one more. Will the schools be doing the same thing? Like it's all settled at one time? Like our school districts might be doing the same thing?
They'll be considering the same offers because the judge is pushing us for offers, but we're not linked in that way.
No, but it's a package that they negotiated.
By year, judges push to get them off their docket. So it's assigned to a particular judge typically. And so this judge is looking back and he's got 15-year-old cases now. That doesn't go well, especially if he's going to come or she's going to come up on election.
But Cindy, is your question, like, are all of the taxing districts in Park Ridge part of the same case, like D64 and the city and
If they went out.
the Park District? Are they all wrapped?
By year. So there might be years where we're not involved and school district is. And then there are years where we're all involved. But it depends on the particular year.
So probably. Looks like probably.
Yeah.
All right. Mary Beth, you want to do a roll call, please?
Yes. Commissioner Halting,
Yes.
Commissioner Leduc,
Aye.
Commissioner Matza,
Yes.
Commissioner Bendy,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowe,
Yes.
Commissioner Grau,
I
Commissioner Tunnel.
Aye.
Thank you very much. And that concludes finance. Thank you, Superintendent Larson. I will turn it over to Commissioner Bendy for buildings and grounds.
Thank you very much. Okay. I move to authorize the purchase and delivery of a Zamboni Model 450 lithium ion in the amount of $143,419.05, and to authorize the executive director to execute and deliver such agreement.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion?
Pretty straightforward.
Any competitors?
Yeah, they do. They do. But, yeah, yeah. Yeah, Zamboni's the best. Yeah. The other ones aren't, I don't think, much different in price, so. It's pretty straightforward. We talked about this at the last meeting, so if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Did I see on the documents the lead time was shorter than 500 days?
Yes, and I did almost not put this in, and I talked to them about that, and they said, well, and I said, all right, I can't have it too early because I don't have a space to put it, and I'm not paying to store it somewhere. And they said, you tell us when you want it, we'll work with you. I said, fine, perfect. So, yeah.
And then do we have to change our electrical requirements for this?
No, this is factored into it.
It's what, factored in?
Yes. Yep. It's understood that we currently have an electric Zamboni. We anticipated having 2 electric Zambonis now. So, yep.
So one of the alternatives we did accept was increasing the amount or capability for future needs.
Yes.
If Zamboni changes their model, or if we get more things running off electric. So we did take that as an alternative.
Yep. So we have a higher capacity with our transformer coming in.
We accepted the alternative.
We did. Yep.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Leduc?
Aye.
Commissioner Metza?
Yes.
Commissioner Bendy?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowe?
Yes.
Commissioner Grau?
Aye.
Commissioner Halting?
Yes.
Commissioner Tunnell?
Aye.
All right. In relation to the Main Park project, I move to approve change order number 1 as presented and to authorize the executive director to execute and deliver such change order.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion?
So last year, when the Main Park Playground project was approved and moving forward, the playground components were ordered. We didn't know at the time, and when the bid was put out, that playgrounds were still seeing a pretty significant backlog in delivery. By the time the playground was actually delivered, the contractor just did not have the opportunity to actually install it and get the rubber surfacing and everything completed and complete the project. So we needed to reestablish a new completion date. So we worked with them, the landscape architect, and tried to establish what time frame would work that takes into account the reality of the weather, the availability of the contractors that have to do the work. I think it's still going to be a little tight on May 3rd, but it was
With this last week.
yeah, but that was the date. So so that's the date. I said that I wanted to make sure that we had a date that was something that was realistic that we could hold everybody to. So that's the date that is being agreed to. What this really does is it kind of identifies a time frame for them to work towards to get the work done. If they don't complete it, and if they're dragging their feet on completion, then they're subject to liquidated damages at that point at $500 a day. So it gives them incentive to do everything they can to make sure that project's completed on time. So
And that's subjective. You'll decide that on May 3rd if it's weather related or contract related.
we always look at we can always look at the weather and identify, and we certainly do that with projects like this and say, this was a washout day. You can't hold them, accountable for that. And so we can give them reasonable accommodations for that, because if we don't, then Dirk's going to tell me I'm going to waste a lot of the Park District's money in litigation over something like that. But if we've got sunny days and they're not out there working, well, that's a different thing. So
You don't want them working on what?
no,
No.
no,
You're gonna get it.
absolutely.
Ground,
product.
Right,
so-
absolutely not. But
Okay.
and I have to say, we worked with them on Northeast Park. They actually finished that project in May, and they were out there on some horrendous days, up to their knees in mud on days that I didn't even think they would be out there to get that project done. And they did it by the skin of their teeth. So I give them a lot of credit. They were hardworking and dedicated. So I will give them that.
Any other questions or discussion? Okay. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Matza?
Yes.
Commissioner Bendy?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowe?
Yes.
Commissioner Grau?
Aye.
Commissioner Halting?
Aye.
Commissioner Leduc?
Aye.
Commissioner Tunnell?
Aye.
Oh, this is a discussion. You're right. This one's just me. This year we did budget money for the sandblasting at and repainting at Hinckley Pool. This is because we've got 20 plus years of paint. The paint is coming off in sheets right now, and it started doing this the last couple of years, and so we knew it was coming. Staff will have to scrape it down this year. We're preparing now to paint it for this season because we won't be able to complete the sandblasting prior to the pool season. So we will scrape it down, give it a coat of paint, and then in the fall, which is the more ideal time frame, the pool will be sandblasted, and then it will be repainted. So it'll be sandblasted down to concrete, painted, and then we shouldn't have to paint it again for probably 5 to 6 years or so, which is what we had with Centennial Pool. It'll just be cleaning it and maybe a touch up here or there if someone scrapes it or scuffs it. But that was what we had to do with Centennial. So we've got one last spring of some, challenging work out there, but then moving forward. We did actually have the bid opening today. We had, I believe, 7 or 8 bids, and there was quite a range. The bids ranged from $55,000 to $290,000. So a handful of them fell in the $75,000 range, I heard as well. So White is actually helping us run this bid as well. So they're going to vet the lowest bid and make sure that everything's in line. And we'll be bringing a recommendation to the board at the next meeting. So,
Is there any concern about bad weather conditions that would slow it down?
well, that's part of the reason why we do this in the fall, because it's postseason, and so it gives us a little more time to work with it. Traditionally, you don't have to deal. You've got warmer surface temperatures. You've got drier temperatures overall as soon as the pool's closed, and then it's got more time for the product to cure. Because the paint product that we go down there, you really just need a couple of dry days to apply it, but then from there, it's a chemical curing process that happens. So that's why you would want to do it in the fall. It's generally much more successful. This time of year, you're always fighting the cold concrete temperatures that seem to persist. So, which is part of the reason why, once you start having to paint the pool, you're constantly painting it before the pool season. You end up with, less than favorable pool conditions to paint these things, and you're like begging to have a sunny day, a dry day right before, and you as fast as you can, you get it painted and you fill it up with water. So it just doesn't create an ideal situation for us. So, but it's the reality of the pools and has been forever. So.
I wanted to make sure I understood right. So, like this spring, you're like taking away those 20 layers of paint and getting the surface off, or
Just the
no?
loose stuff. So we're going in power washers and hand scrapers.
We do this annually.
Yeah, we do this already anyway, so it's just going to be a really rough year.
How this was different from what you did. It's your normal
It's
spring.
It's the normal spring. It's
just
just going to be a
bad.
little
It's gotten-
excessive
yeah.
this year. They're already saying, "Oh, this is going to be a rough one." I said, "Yeah, I know." So, yep.
Just
And-
because there are so many.
So many layers.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, they told me the other day they picked up a piece and they could literally count at least 7 layers for sure. Yeah. So. Yep. Any other questions?
Thank you, Terry.
Yep.
Appreciate it. On to communication and correspondence. Who's got that?
We have one good correspondence. We got the PowerPoint at the Power Play. PowerPoint, we were talking about that earlier. Power Play grant for $1,000. We're one of 30 agencies that received that again this year. So Megan, first shot at this. Our first, yeah, that's it. Julie and Megan. So that's it.
Good work.
Any new business? I move to adjourn the park board meeting?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?